Good afternoon. I'm Richard Wishnie, Deputy County Executive, and I'm standing in today for County Executive Ken Jenkins, who's in Albany at a meeting with the governor. And we hope he comes back and brings a lot of good surprises for us. At this time, once again, we have one of our favorite town supervisors from Mamaroneck. That's Supervisor Jane Elkin-Eney, and she's going to tell us a little bit about some of the exciting things that are happening in the town of Mamaroneck. Supervisor, welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
It's always great to be here. Well, I think I'm going to start with some good news today. I'm happy to report that the Town Recreation Commission voted to open the town fields behind the Hommocks Middle School for the winter of 25-26, as they've already agreed to open them on Wednesdays. This decision came about as a result of the town's desire to be responsive to the feedback we received from the community. It's also a particularly good time to open the fields over the winter because we're exploring different ways to renovate or restore the fields as they exist. So we're hoping to keep partnering with the schools and the entire community as we explore viable options for a long-time solution for the field renovations. And also, the Hommocks Park Ice Rink opened this week for the season, and I have to say that's my favorite place in the whole town, and it's always good to be back at the rink with all the kids and of all ages having so much fun. Flooding, of course, remains a top concern in the town, and thanks to grants that we obtained from FEMA and the county, thank you very much, we conducted our first ever comprehensive stormwater assessment. And the results of the study were that they identified 15 areas in the town that are, trouble spots, and we're addressing these projects now. Of course, it's a big bill, $60 million, and we're actively pursuing grants with the state, the county, and the federal government. And in the meantime, not to let any grass grow under our feet, while we're doing the applications, we're designing the projects. Fiscal responsibility matters. We've worked hand in hand with the town administrator and our federal, state, and county officials to aggressively pursue grants. And we want to ease the burden of our taxpayers on all of the things that we have to accomplish, and also bring new opportunities to the town. Well, our hard work has really paid off. Last year alone, we were awarded $10 million in grants, and those will support vital environmental, infrastructure, and safety projects in the town. These are investments that will benefit everyone, and best of all, the taxpayers don't have to bear all of the burden. It is going to be another tough budget year this year, and in light of increasing budget challenges, we've decided for the first time to appoint a Citizens Budget Committee, and we're using their expertise, to explore other possibilities in budgeting, and we hope that will prove fruitful. Environmental leadership is another hallmark of the town of Mamaroneck. We've worked diligently and we're on track to receive silver status with the New York State DEC Climate Smart Communities program. This is an honor here to date that have only been earned by 18 out of the 1,700 communities in New York State. Through Climate Smart Communities, we're taking meaningful action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to adapt to climate change, while opening the doors for new grants and resources that we'll be able to obtain because of this status. Certified communities have proven a commitment to sustainability, and Mamaroneck is proud to be a leader among them. And so while we've made tremendous progress, we're always looking to do more to continue moving forward in all aspects of town governance. Our focus includes infrastructure improvements, climate resilience, community safety, financial stewardship, and of course, recreation. And most important, we're striving to improve communication with our residents so that we hear what they have to say and think, and to increase transparency. So that's some of the highlights that's happening in the town of Mamaroneck now. I want to thank you for your time, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Supervisor. Obviously, the town is working hard to bring those grants in to help bring relief to the taxpayers, and the supervisor honestly does a great job. We're very proud to have a partnership with her whenever we can. This past summer, New York City experienced a cluster of Legionnaire disease cases. Joining us today, once again, will be our County Health Commissioner, Dr. Charlita Amler, who will address some of the recent Legionella cases here in Westchester. Dr. Amler will provide additional information on the county's monitoring and prevention efforts. It is important to note that Legionella is detected every year, and the health department consistently works to identify the source and collaborate with building owners and companies to disinfect and maintain their cooling towers. That remains a top priority. Once the county observed that cases were rising above expected levels, we promptly notified the public. That initial notification came just last week when Dr. Amler first joined the briefing. She's here today to provide an update. Dr. Amler, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, and good afternoon. I want to provide you with an update on the cases of Legionnaire's disease in our area. To date, we have had 38 confirmed cases this season. That's an increase of 2 cases since I was at the briefing last week, and more than the 24 cases reported last year. This is not a cause for undue alarm, but it is a reminder and does show the stress and does stress the importance of public awareness. Anyone experiencing flu-like symptoms, a fever, cough, shortness of breath, muscle aches, or a headache should seek medical attention promptly. And certain individuals are at higher risk from complications from Legionnaire's disease. These include smokers, people with chronic conditions like diabetes or chronic lung disease, older adults, and people who are immunocompromised, such as those with organ transplants, blood cancers, or end-stage liver disease. Legionella bacteria occurs naturally in the environment and really thrives in warm, stagnant water like you'd find in cooling towers. That's typically between 68 and 113 degrees Fahrenheit. These conditions, this type of temperature, can develop in places like hot tubs, cooling towers, hot water tanks, large plumbing systems, and decorative fountains, especially if they're not properly maintained. So let me talk a little bit about cooling towers since they're mentioned in connection with Legionella. A cooling tower is a structure that cools water through evaporation. A large amount of water turns into vapor, carrying away heat and lowering the temperature of the remaining water. That cooled water is then recirculated through a building system, most often in large commercial or industrial facilities. So far, we have not identified a common source or exposure among the individuals who became ill. We also have not yet matched Legionella DNA found in patients with a specific source, such as a cooling tower. However, we have identified a cluster of 5 cases in Yonkers. The New York State Department of Health used the state registry to identify about a dozen cooling towers within a 2-mile area. Our inspectors will sample these towers this week, and the samples will be tested at the New York State lab. The lab will determine whether Legionella is present, and if it is present, identify its DNA. This testing, of course, takes time, and in some cases, we may not be able to obtain viable samples from patients to compare with the environmental sources. That means we may not always find a definitive answer, because what we're looking for is organisms in the cooling tower that have the same DNA as what is seen in the Legionella from patients. The good news is that enforcement is in place. Any cooling tower not in compliance with state and local regulations will be required to update their reporting and maintenance. If any tower tests above an acceptable level, building management must perform immediate disinfection and take corrective action to reduce the bacterial growth. I want to remind all building and business owners, vigilance is key. It is critical. If you operate a spa, a decorative fountain, or a cooling tower, you are responsible for ensuring that it is properly maintained, documented, and reported. Public health is a shared responsibility, and we need your partnership to keep our community safe. I also want to reassure the public, Legionella disease is not contagious. Let me repeat that. Legionella is not contagious. It does not spread from person to person. Infection occurs by breathing in mist or vapor containing the Legionella bacteria, often from sources like cooling towers or other building water systems. As the weather cools, many of the cooling towers will be shutting down until next summer, and the water in the cooling towers will also be cooling. So again, we urge anyone experiencing flu-like symptoms such as a fever, cough, shortness of breath, muscle aches, or headaches to seek medical attention promptly, immediately. Early diagnosis and treatment really can make a significant difference. And we thank you for your time, because public health awareness really is key to ensuring that people get prompt and adequate treatment so that we can prevent any further fatalities. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amler, for that update on Legionnaire's disease. We're very happy today to announce that an arbitration panel has again ruled in favor of Westchester County in its long-standing dispute with Standard Amusements over the management of Playland Park. The ruling affirms the county's termination of its contract with Standard Amusements and confirms that Standard is entitled to the least amount of liquidated damages as outlined in the Playland Management Agreement. The panel found that Standard Amusements defaulted under the terms of the Playland Management Agreement by refusing to operate Playland during the 2025 season and formally turning over management to the county in February 2025. In its ruling, the panel determined, one, that the county's termination of Playland Management Agreement is valid and effective as of February 22nd, 2025, following the expiration of Standard's cure period. And two, Standard Amusements is entitled again to the least amount of liquidated damages pursuant to the agreement based on Standard's default. This decision is a clear validation of the county's position that Standard Amusements defaulted on its responsibilities to operate and manage Playland. Our priority has always been to ensure that Playland remains open, safe, fun, and well managed for the residents of Westchester, especially our little residents, for now and beyond. With this ruling, the county can now move forward with certainty and continue to build a strong foundation for the future of this park. And now at this time, we're going to have a special guest, the gentleman who is the Director of the Environmental Conservation and Sustainability, to discuss the county's upcoming compost bin and rain barrel sale. And he's also going to tell us a little bit about the free paint recycling event that's going to take place. And we're going to invite now Mr. Peter McCart. Peter, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yes, I want to talk. Many municipalities are participating in our residential food scrap and transportation program. But if they aren't, or if people want to compost at home, we are selling compost bins, rain barrels, and other accessories for sale on, and these are sold at near wholesale cost. We do not make any money off of these sales. And to order a bin or a rain barrel, or to see what the other accessories are, go to westchester.compostersale.com to order and pick it up. You must pre-order by Sunday, September 21st, this coming Sunday, and you'll pick it up on the following Sunday, September 28th, between 9:30 and 11:30 here in White Plains at the Gedney Way Recycling Center. There are also compost bins are sold, rain barrels, other countertop bins, BPI, compostable bags, aerators, and other items are for sale there. So again, I'm here to do some trash talking also. And how can we minimize the solid waste that goes to our waste to energy facility? So many items can and should be recycled, especially hazardous materials such as car fluids, except motor oil, car tires, e-waste, expired and unused pharmaceuticals, fire extinguishers, fluorescent light bulbs, LEDs, flammable liquids, mercury thermometers and thermostats, metal and furniture polishes, pesticides, herbicides, pool chemicals, propane tanks, rechargeable batteries, appliances, textiles, cooking fats and grease, and of course paint. This is not a complete list. Household material recovery facility is it's on our Valhalla campus. It's at 15 Woods Road in Valhalla. You can go to the Department of Environmental Facilities website to make a reservation. You could also call the recycling helpline at any time. That's 914-813-5425 to make a reservation. We also have another way to dispose of these hazardous materials and hard to get rid of, and these are all recycled at our household recycling days. We have 2 days left. One is on Saturday, October 4th, from 9 to 3 at Sprain Ridge Park in Yonkers. And the last one is on Saturday, November 8th, from 9 to 3 again, and that's at Playland Park in Rye. There is a free, as mentioned, free paint recycling event Saturday, September 20th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Sprain Ridge Park. That's 149 Jackson Avenue in Yonkers. All paints can be brought there, oil, enamel, floor paint, shellac, stains, all that. You have to register for these 3 places and events, the household recycling events, the free paint recycling event, and the household material recovery facility by either going to the website for Department of Environmental Facilities, or again calling our recycling helpline at 914-813-5425. Again, order your rain barrel and compost bins. That is must be done by this Sunday, September 21st, and you pick it up on Saturday, September 28th, between 9:30 and 11:30. I'd also like to say that we are a bronze certified climate smart community. We're not in competition with Mamaroneck, but we're one of the few counties that are actually a climate smart community, bronze certified, and we are actually working on our silver certification as well.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter McCart. And today we want to announce also that it's the first day of Hispanic Heritage Month. Hispanic Heritage Month is a time to recognize and celebrate countless contributions that our Hispanic and Latino communities bring to Westchester County, and of course to our nation as well. Here in Westchester, we are proud to be home to a diverse community where culture and tradition enrich every corner of our county. Throughout the month, we encourage everyone to take a moment to support and visit local Hispanic and Latino-owned businesses, restaurants, and cultural organizations. By doing so, we not only honor this important month, but also strengthen the community ties that make Westchester such a special place to call home. And we also want to make it clear and invite all of you that would like to attend on September 30th. we're going to have an open house at 6 p.m. Honoring the Hispanic and Latino community right here at the county office building. And there'll be more about that before the event. And of course, we also want to remind everyone about our nationally accredited and award-winning parks system. And we think it would be helpful for you to find out what's happening by going to parks.westchester.gov.com to find out what's happening in our parks during the next week and thereafter. At this time, it's Richard Wishnie and Deputy County Executive. Have a great afternoon, and thanks for listening.